Hello and welcome to another episode of Find Your Model Health, the official podcast from Shemaine's Model Health for those looking to optimize their long-term health and weight goals. I am Shemaine Linney. I am your host. I am a biohacker and fitness and nutrition expert. And this week's podcast, we're looking at what stress does to your body. In a sense, we're looking at the hormonal and the nutritional deficiencies that coincide with stress. Stress, because the word stress gets thrown around so much, I feel that a lot of people just think of stress as an invisible emotion and don't quite understand the chain reaction of events that happen when we have a stressful thought or when we encounter some sort of external stressor from our environment, like inhaling chemicals or even touching, say, toxic cleaners or anything like that. So stress is so much more than just an invisible emotion. So we're going to first look at the association of nutritional deficiencies when your body is in a stress state. So the body requires a certain nutritional status to have something to work with on a daily basis. Certain essential nutrients must be in your system for certain pathways to be capable of working. So vitamins, minerals, and trace elements are essential components to make sure the macronutrient changes, the amino acids and the botanicals and herbs, etc., are capable of creating a change within your body. Basically, the big guns that are used to change hormones or strip fat or build muscle cannot work if the body is stressed and in or where the essential micronutrients may be deficient. When the body is under stress, apart from the big shifts in hormonal and the nervous system action, it depletes your nutrients. When you're stressed, your body needs to use more fuel and oxygen to function. This creates oxidative stress, and when we're maybe training or exercising, we're actually creating more acidic waste and fatigue on top of the stress we're experiencing. So what that means is a lot of the time when we are stressed, some of us might hit the gym to try and work off that stress, or we might train extra hard. Let's just say we're stressed over a family issue. Maybe we'll go train hard to take our mind off stuff. Or let's say we ate something that we feel guilty about and that's causing us a stress, so we train even harder, and this creates more waste and fatigue building up within your body, and then we're not recovering or detoxifying efficiently, so we end up doing a lot more damage. And most of us don't take the time that we do need to address stress or to even recover properly. So to look a little more deeply at it, what happens is every time you require the brain to produce neurotransmitters to, say, fuel a worry or a thought, that not only requires the amino acids and nutrients required to make neurotransmitters, but it also requires the cofactors like the B vitamins and fatty acids and micronutrients that are essential to make strong neurotransmitters and then to break them down again after use. So, for B vitamins are used in the process of making noradrenaline. This then comes out and triggers the sympathetic hurry, worry, money system, so that your stress system, which is very catabolic and switches off short-term memory, recovery, repair, gut instinct, and your digestion. And of course your reproductive system, because if you're in that sympathetic state, you don't want to get pregnant. Your reproduction then is slowed down or turned off. After that stress response, though, these B vitamins, particularly folate, have to break back down the neurotransmitter to convert it into dopamine and put you back in your relaxed parasympathetic state because you've just survived the stress. So I hope that makes sense. Now, if you're low in B vitamins and cofactors that are necessary to switch off the stress response, what happens is your body releases the noradrenaline, but it can't clear it away to be converted to dopamine, which means you can't stop thinking or worrying. You have fear of the unknown, you have a lot of self-doubt, instead of feeling the pride and wellness and safeness you would feel if your stress responses were working properly. So the nutrients or cofactors, they're also catalysts for reactions. So they help stuff work efficiently. So my clients will know I'm always talking about sprinkling fairy dust on their food. So that extra nutrition that's going to up-level their food. If those micronutrients or that fairy dust is not there, and you're trying to get your body to do something specific, let's just say it's weight loss, it's not going to happen because you don't have the proper nutritional base to help move things along. Once the nutrients are depleted, you lose the ability to control not only how your metabolism works, but also your immune system, your gut, your central nervous system, and even your own thoughts. Stress will also break down your essential fatty acids. And these are essential for maintaining cell integrity, your membranes, and preventing inflammation. So a lot of the time when I monitor what's happening with my clients, and I'll see maybe they're very inflamed, I'll ask them, how was your week? Is there something bothering you? Are you feeling stressed? And some of my clients are very, very sensitive to stress, and as soon as stress enters their environment or their life, they will inflame automatically. Their gut will inflame, their brain will inflame. When your brain inflames, you get brain fog, or you might have a headache or a migraine. Their gut will inflame, so they'll be bloating and maybe constipated and just overall not feeling good. And on weeks like that, maybe we'll see their weight plateau. If weight loss is their goal, we'll see their scales plateau, even though according to them, their exercise and food has been good. The stress has affected them and took them in the opposite direction. So, essential fatty acids, they're important for maintaining that inflammation kind of activity. So if these are being depleted, if your fatty acids are being depleted, you will become acidic and your mitochondria will suffer. Therefore, you won't be creating efficiently because we know our mitochondria are our energy powerhouses. Part of the management of this is turning off your stress response effectively. Again, with getting your B vitamins, your magnesium, your zinc, selenium, all your omegas and saturated fats. So getting that good dense nutrition, the micronutrients of the fairy dust into your diet is going to be super important to make sure that you're working on optimal levels no matter what your goals are, especially for fat loss. So you're not going to see the results that you deserve. So you might be exercising and watching your macronutrients, so macros, not micros, macros, and watching your calories. But if you have a stress or a deficiency in micronutrients, you will not be getting the results that you deserve. Not only are you going to be deficient, but your gut is going to struggle to absorb any nutrition you do take in because it is in that inflamed state. So we're going to just look more towards the hormones now. So that's the nutrition and how that works with stress. And stress, your body has a survival mechanism. Whenever you get a stress trigger, your body doesn't wait to see what that trigger is. It will trigger your adrenaline and trigger everything you need to push and run or punch and run. But it can also make changes to, again, your digestive tract and your liver, in case whatever that stress is, maybe a poison or a snake bite, your body doesn't know. I mean, it could just be pollution, or it could be you got some toxins on your skin, or it could be you had an argument with someone, but your body doesn't know, because the stress is a stress and the same reaction is going to happen. So this quickly shuts down all your body's kind of common sense processes that do maintenance and repair. Plus, it downregulates thyroid functions and then upregulates detox enzymes that quickly try to turn the toxin into, let's say, some sort of water soluble form, so you're capable of excreting it from your body. Your body doesn't know, again, what stress has happened. All it knows is there's a stress. It could be a snake bite, so we're going to turn on this, and this reaction. And that simple shift away from maintenance and repair to short-term survival, it gets built up and stacked and stacked and stacked, so your liver ends up changing and thus causes estrogen to go down the wrong pathway, where it gets converted into a toxic form and your body struggles to get it out of your body, and that ends up sticking to your butt, your belly, and your thighs. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Back to thyroid and liver function. When your body is in a parasympathetic rest and repair state, it's supposed to convert T4 to T3 to make it more active and increase your metabolism and make sure that your body's getting the nutrition where it needs to go. But if you've got stress, then the stress is going to drive up the inflammation. You're also going to get the estrogen dominance. You've got the toxic exposure. So you're more likely then to have T4 convert to not T3, but reverse T3. And reverse T3 puts handbrakes on. It blocks everything good from happening. This is a handbrake to health. So that elevated stress causes the liver to create higher levels of thyroid binding globulin, TBG, and this binds to your free good thyroid, or T3. That's the stuff we want to have a nice ratio of. Then that is so when our TBG binds to our T3, the T3 is then taken out of circulation. So we get inhibitions of T3 and higher levels of reverse T3, so putting the handbrakes on. This slows down the metabolism, which leads to insulin resistance, then metabolic disease, and also leads to downregulation of progesterone, which contributes to even more estrogen dominance. So, when we get a stress, let's just say a negative thought, a bit of anxiety, we get this whole hormonal reaction. So your brain sends a signal to your adrenals, something bad's happening, we've got to turn off our rest state and we need to go into survival mode. So all your essential functions get slowed down, your thyroid, your metabolism, everything just pretty much gets slowed down. Then your punch and run hormones get increased. So we target energy that's quick in our muscles to punch and run. So we're not burning fat for a start, because we're just taking the easily accessible energy from our muscles. We also get inflammation driven up because our cortisol gets thrown off, so inflammation goes rampant. We also get signals from our brain that we need sugar, so we get increases of cravings because sugar is an easily accessible kind of quick source of fuel, so you want that if you're running away from a dinosaur. We also get a drive in insulin production, which increases insulin resistance. With the increased insulin resistance, we get an increase then in estrogen dominance as well. So the whole lot is a vicious cycle. And if we don't take a step back, then understand this is what happens when my body gets any sort of stress. How can I manage that better? And how can I use my environment and my nutrition and my daily kind of routines that I do to support my body better when it does get stressed? Back to your essential micronutrients, and then understanding, well, if I am going to get stressed, this is going to happen to my liver and my thyroid and my metabolism, blah blah blah. So when the stress response comes, what can I do to manage it better? So this podcast kind of shows you that stress is so much more, like so much more than just an invisible emotion or something that makes you feel bad or gives you butterflies in your tummies. Stress has an effect, and we didn't even touch on all the other stuff stress does, but these two, stress affects how your body absorbs nutrition, how it affects your organs, your weight loss, your goals regarding health and weight loss. It affects everything. So I hope this podcast was helpful. If you have anyone you feel that would benefit from this podcast, please share. Sharing is caring, and we're trying to make the world a better place. Have a great weekend, and I will chat to you guys soon. Bye bye.